LJL. Today we're going to be seeing 7th Heaven go up against Rampage.
I'm just gonna go off the assumption that I'm not gonna be heard again this time and just like talk the most shit. I'm just gonna
But
go
we
off
can
the
hear you
assumption
though.
that I'm not gonna be heard again this time and just like
Can hear you.
look, I never said it was a perfect plan.
So far in the standings right now, we'll just go and double check here. Alright, so we're just gonna see normal boring bands come out. So it's 7th Heaven, which
We're finally on to 7.11.
yay! We're only 3 patches behind now, boys. Alright, so RPG, they currently have a 2-0 right now, and 7th Heaven are 1-for-1. So what that means is that 7th Heaven only have won like 2 matches, meanwhile Rampage has won all 4 of the games. Thresh, pretty popular pick right now. Elise, Caitlyn, Kennen, Galio bands, all pretty standard things. We don't actually see a lot of Varus. Normally people will just opt into the Caitlyn or play something like Zaya.
Caitlyn is banned right now.
Pretty good here to pick up.
If I remember right, Remuna and Yutori are the 2 to watch on Rampage.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yutori is gonna get Zaya.
Alright, so that's... Well, why would you pick Varus unless you've got something specific in mind to happen for laning phase? Like, otherwise you just go and pick the next best thing, which would be Zaya. Maybe they're going for a pick comp. Like, we see a lot of pick comps coming out of Japan. Not really a lot of standard like team fighting or jungle pressure. It's just jungle pressure. That's same through everything.
There's Zyra, standard bully lane. Especially because Zaya doesn't have the most amazing early game.
So then, what else would there be? There's Syndra. They can pick up Syndra.
Syndra can do well into Orianna, yeah.
Just a wave clear lane too. So yeah. Woo, we called it! So I forgot what it was, but in the future, somebody said that Orianna currently has no meta counters. Like, within the meta, there aren't any counters that exist. But what are you gonna do against her? She'll just live in lane. I don't think we've ever seen...
I would also make the argument that Syndra doesn't really have bad matchups.
Yeah, she doesn't have bad matchups either. So you just have, like, a farm lane. No bad matchups versus no bad matchups.
And I will say that I do think Syndra has more kill pressure on Ori early game because she does have that stun.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess it would, and it's like that's also like compounded on the fact that RPG have a high pressure jungler, the Lee Sin, so they're probably just going to... Then again, it's barrier versus heal. Like, they probably don't expect to be killing each other pretty soon. Wait, why would you ban... Oh, no, never mind. My brain, like, flipped backwards. Like, it's like, oh, they bland Blitzcrank. But they've already got a support. What? No, that's just my mistake. Yeah, Braum would work fine, I guess, into Orianna and Varus. Get that pushing power in lane, as Braum can escort the minion waves to the tower and protect the backline minions from dying.
So Zach makes it through both rounds of bans, so
Huh.
that's pretty much an instant lock for Savage.
So it does look like they actually do want a team fighting composition. Irelia? You're just gonna blind pick Irelia. You're not actually gonna do it. That'd actually be pretty interesting though. That's much better. So now, what looked like a pick comp at the beginning with the Varus, since you'll normally only see Varus paired up with Zyra in a pick comp, we now have like a proper team fighting composition.
I want to see a peel tank, yeah, like Gragas.
Yeah. Gragas is... Like, people keep saying that, like, what do you call it, Jarvan is, like, counterpick to Gragas. Is that actually true? Because, like, people have been opting into it, like, a lot. So, I feel like the matchup is just a lot more nuanced than just, oh yeah, it's a counter pick.
Jarvan does well against most heavy tanks.
So I guess kind of like, he's just like AoE better Jax.
He does well when he's the one that can have the priority in dishing out damage.
Got a lot of AoE on the side of 7th Heaven. Like we've got their bottom lane, Orianna. Anyways, we're going to see 7th Heaven playing with Ryzen in the top lane as Jarvan, Savage in the jungle as Zac, Brock in the mid lane as Orianna, Kenya playing Varus as the AD carry, and Thinton playing as a support with Zyra. On the side of Rampage, we've got Evie playing Gragas in the top lane, Tussle playing Lee Sin in the jungle, Immune playing Syndra in the mid lane, Yatori Moyasi as Zaya as the AD carry, and Dara playing Braum as the support. Personally, I feel like I like 7th Heaven's composition a bit more. It's very clear what they want to do. Meanwhile,
they have lots of engage, lots of team fighting potential.
Meanwhile, on the side of on the side of Rampage, it just looks like they're playing comfort picks for lane. They've got Gragas in the top lane, which is fairly standard. Syndra in the mid lane, which is like, it's just a basic tool that you use to go and smash people's faces in.
They could very effectively play around neutral objective in the fog of war if they manage to secure vision control.
Yeah, but if they're able to get vision control, then they're gonna be better suited to take over fights. But the problem is that you've got these long-range pick/engage tools like Zac and Orianna or Corruption Chains of Corruption.
Corruption of Champions.
Damn boy. I prefer Trials in Tainted Space. Alright, so now we see 7th Heaven here setting up in the bottom lane, getting all their plants here so they can establish lane dominance. Meanwhile, RPG is just trying to make sure that they don't push up more than they're allowed. It's going to be starting over on the Raptor camp, fairly strong for junglers at the moment, gives them really fast clear times, and they don't have to deal with it later by themselves. Getting a leash from 2 people, not the bottom lane.
So I really expect this bottom lane to go in the favor of 7th Heaven. Zarya, Zyra, Zaya, Zika, whatever.
Wait a second.
Poison Ivy isn't already abusive lane to begin with. And add to that the fact that Zaya and Braum don't really have the best laning phase. Like, they're both much better team fighting champions than
Braum does like
laning
perform really
phase.
well in skirmishes though. Even level 1, Braum is like one of the best level 1 supports. So like that threat is still there. Sort of.
Maybe he's a melee champ against Zyra.
Yeah.
He's gonna eat a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's usually a problem unless you're Taric.
And he's not really going to, like, they're gonna find it very hard to pressure the lane.
Interesting here. Ryzen's just gonna go and deny the blast cone so that he doesn't get snuck up on. Maybe he's gonna go and ward the try push. Probably not though, because like if you remove a lot of those wards, then you're probably just the blast cone and just place or down. Blah, blah, blah. If you remove the blast cone, the places that the jungler can come from are more limited, and so you need less wards to go and spot them out. Did it. We're gonna see an early-ish back from Lee Sin. There's not really any places that he can gank right now. He cleared out his jungle, and bot lane is pushed up, so they already know that they have a ward here. So Lee Sin wouldn't really be able to do anything effectively there, so he just backs, waits for his camps to come up. And interestingly enough, he skips his jungle item to go into a longsword boots. Like, going boots as a jungler is pretty common, but also skipping the other jungle component, it's pretty smart, because a lot of the things that you're investing in when you buy that is the mana regen and the health back. But since Lee Sin, he finished...
Did he have to hit it twice?
No, he canceled his first auto.
It looked like it hit, though.
He canceled it at the very last frame or something like that.
Jeez.
Oh shit, we might be seeing a gank down here. He's only got two ranks into his elastic slingshot, so that's not going to be that far, but he's still going to be able to get both of them. Shield Unbreakable is going to keep him alive. Not 100% sure if he needed to flash, but keeps him alive.
Both thumbs down for their ADC.
Same.
Definitely have to be careful, as Savage is going to want to be able to make a return trip down there.
It's so funny, like, you're being shoved under your tower slowly, like the minion wave is just barely frozen outside of your tower, and then Zac ganks you anyways. Like, what else am I supposed to do here?
Ban Zac.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That's really the best way to counter him.
So this build path from, might be looking mid lane for a gank here, is going to be able to go and ward hop in, but a quick flash is going to keep Brock alive.
Brock being smart and opening his eyes. The Savage is already looking for a repeat over here. It's still early, are they gonna?
Oh my god! Oh my god! They're actually able to, like, get that ward over the fat wall.
That is my favorite ward.
Wait,
whenever I place it.
That was just incredibly sloppy by Brock to stay in the lane after he's, like, so low. Like, he's got to just back off and respect that, because if he walks up, then he just get insta-killed, which is what happened.
Yeah, you have no sums against Syndra. Staying there is just greedy, and you deserve to die.
Especially since you know that Lee Sin is, like, still existing somewhere on the map. That staying up that far is just sloppy. Top lane's gonna be trading for a little bit. Gonna probably be seeing the Jarvan be bullied in lane, at least until he can get some AD HP items. So the Titanic and Cleaver coming up. Then he's gonna be able to trade with Evie. Jungler's fairly even on CS. Mid laner's actually in favor of Immune. Should be expected though, considering that he just solo killed him and is able to stay in lane. Did he actually back? I didn't pay attention to see if he backed. I was busy sneezing and dying. Bottom lanes are both matched in... Oh, get a paw. Oh, cool. We're alive again.
Alright, Tussel's got the flank here. Instant flash from Tintin.
It's just a flash and that's it.
You had to respect it. Lee Sin is 6, he does have the kick. And getting kicked into the Braum Zaya combo pretty much guarantees he'd be dead.
Yeah, the stun will come out, followed by the root. Oh, we see counter ganks coming out here.
This is gonna be a fight.
Slingshot's going to miss, but the stretchy arms are going to hit. Wait!
Shockwave whiffs!
It whiffs because Savage pulled them out of it. But now they're going to get Ryzen to come in here with the Cataclysm. And they're going to be able to go and gun down Remune. That was actually so sad. Watching Savage like pull them out of the Orianna's Shockwave, just it could have been so much cleaner. They could have gotten doubles from that.
Yeah, Orianna, just Orianna things. Having your jungler pull your enemy out of your ball range.
So now we get to see a replay of that. We get to see Savage go in first. Then Tussle comes in here.
Gets the knockup.
Oh, it was actually in range, but it just... But they got pulled out, and that's so sad.
Don't think Savage needed the flash there.
Probably not.
Like, Syndra didn't have flash, she wasn't getting away. And Jarvan was just gonna kill her. She had enough spells.
Well, then again, Flash isn't that exactly of a useful tool on Zac. Actually, now that I think about, like, now with Zac's ultimate being changed from being a displacement tool that you could like flash to knock somebody back into your team, now I wonder if like taking some other summoner spell would be more useful on Zac. Maybe it's just like a win more thing, or just like it's like, oh, if you were going to win, then you'll just like be winning harder.
I mean, there's not a single champion in the game that Flash is useless on. This Flash is absolutely not useless on Shaco.
Yeah, but most Shakos will go Ignite.
Shaco can be played without Flash.
Can be played without Flash, but it's not like it's not going to be as useful.
But he will not suffer if he takes Flash.
Can't ignite people if you don't have Flash. And you also can't TP to lane if you don't have Flash and another summoner not named Flash. Wait, we might see Tussle coming here fighting with somebody else. He just kicks him back into the wall, but wait, he's actually just getting 1v2'd.
Yeah, follow-up wasn't fast enough, not respecting the damage, and now this
Kenny's gonna go and fall down to Yatori, and
fell apart for 7th Heaven.
Back away. That was sloppy on both sides, to be honest. I'm like a little bit disappointed of how Tussle handled that, but like I'm also... Wait, now we get to see more fights coming in. Savage is gonna go get force pushed away. Ryzen is going to try and look for a Cataclysm, but he's getting chunked down and he can't really do it safely anymore. So now they're just gonna scramble to try and keep the minion wave off the tower. Still disappointed at Tussle. So,
yeah, just disrespecting the damage that's going to come out from the Varus Zyra combo.
I also feel like he also misplayed how his kick was used here. He kicked him into the wall, so like he flashed
yeah.
him where like he wanted to hit him further to the right, but because he got kicked into the wall, that meant that Fenton was able to peel for him a lot better. But in the end, though, the play
and he was completely on his own there too.
Yeah, he was really counting on that kick to work properly.
More fat boy trading top lane.
Fat boy. Ryzen can't really do anything about the minion wave right now, so he's just going to go and wait under his tower so that he's just not overextending at all, since they don't know where Zac is.
Now they're looking to pressure down mid tower.
They're going to be able to get significant damage out of this, especially with the red buff being on Remute right now. Able to chunk it down to about a third. Now it looks like they're going to go have a return trip down towards bottom lane. Savage goes and spots out one of them. Not sure if they found... Oh no, they did see Tussle with that ward before he dropped the ward. Now we can see bottom lane backing away, trying to make sure that they don't get spooked. Got wards in a lot of their bushes down here just so that they can avoid another dive in the bottom lane, especially since they're more vulnerable than they were before. Pretty interesting to see Ryzen opt into the Ninja Tabby and Tiamat. Obviously, the Ninja Tabby is going to be more useful against Tussle and Yukori Moyasi, but ward spots out Savage. But he also goes into the Tiamat, so instead of opting in for better trades, he's just going to go and try and manipulate the waves until he can just farm safely.
Looks like Tussle's just gonna be able to solo out this Rift Herald. And Seventh Heaven really aren't in a position to try and push for any objectives. Savage might be getting caught out. Flash Chains of Corruptions. Roots come out.
Nice. Wait. 2 of their kills are on Thinton now. That's not what we want.
I mean, Zyra, like...
He does damage, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like they're going to be racing for the first tower, but actually RPG have already gotten it. Well, they're going to be able to get 2 towers now for this. 2 for 1. That's a bit,
yeah, this
not
is
sure if worth.
Yeah, I actually don't really like that use of the Rift Herald, because that first tower was going down anyway, and they're not going to be able to get anything on the second tower.
Well, they'll get some damage, but it's not going to be like nearly as impressive as before. It's like, okay, so it drops down 1/3 of its HP. That's cool, but it could be better. It could be a lot better.
Yeah, in the end, you got the Rift Herald and didn't get a tower with it. That's...
Then again, like, there were only so many towers that were on the map for them, and since they were able to get the bottom tower without the use of Rift Herald, they were also able to get the top tower without the use of Rift Herald. And now that looks like they're just going to be able to, like, brute force the mid tower. Like, there's not really an excellent opportunity to use Rift Herald here.
Well, then you make one.
Yeah, but we already just took all the good spots. Looks like they're going to get TP'd in, though, by Ryzen. He's going to go and Cataclysm in onto Ramune. He's going to get exhausted, so he's going to deal no damage. Savage is going to go and knock up Yutori.
Shockwave catches 2.
Ramune. He's so low, he's able to go get trade 1 for 1 though. Dara's
low, he's gonna die from that.
Knock up. And now RPG has to go and run away. Wow. Pretty messy fight there, but it actually all works out for them in the end. The CC control from Brock, Savage, and Thinton are able to launch them into their own team. But now we get to see... Oh my god. Alright, if there was something there for him to like latch onto, I'm sure that he would have.
Teleport Flake works out really well, and we see the strength of Seventh Heaven's comp. Despite being behind about 2,000 gold, or probably more before that fight, they're still able to win this fight just because of the strength of their comp.
Yep, and what good is that gold if you're just able to go and have good communication to go and delete people? So now we get to see a replay coming up over here. Ramune goes, gets chunked down, can't really do anything effectively. Yutori's gonna go get CC'd and can't contribute effectively. Shockwave catches both of their damage dealers.
And Brock holds on to the Shockwave until Xayah Featherstorms, guaranteeing that there's no way for her to dodge it.
That was really good. We're just able to zone and control RPG with their team fighting composition, and like that's what Seventh Heaven comp is going to do. Like every single time, they're going to want to go and throw themselves at RPG and like displace them and just take away their options in fights. Meanwhile, RPG has to like maneuver their way around fights in order to actually be effective. Oh, I gotta be careful. I gotta go and do the specific ward hop. Oh, I gotta go and like get the right ball in the right position so I can get a max range stun. Oh, I need a little bit of setup so I can get roots on everybody. Oh, I need to hit somebody with my Q, and then other people need to auto attack him. I need to go and like belly flop in and like make sure I don't fuck it up or they don't flash away. Meanwhile, 7th Heaven is just like throw all our abilities on the guys.
Yeah, what we saw was 7th Heaven getting the flank and like forcing the fight, but RPG still will have an advantage in situations in which 7th Heaven like tries to run them down, because they have a lot of disengage. Zaya is very strong when enemies are coming towards her.
Then they've got the Braum and the Gragas and Ryun. So they
Yeah.
really do need those flanks in order to be effective. But those flanks are a lot easier when you've got Zac and Jarvan.
Yeah.
They're looking for maybe a pick around here, but they can't find anybody, so looks like they're just gonna swap spots on the map. RPG are doing well to try and make what good they can, taking down the bottom tower. Not sure if they're gonna be able to do this effectively though. We've got 5 people here. Brock might be able to wave clear and scare them away, and they've got to go and respect Savage.
Yeah, vision is paramount against teams with hard engage like this.
Being careful to not overextend your lead in areas where you can help it. Now we're gonna see 7th Heaven coming out of their base with some new items. Melanimicon completed on the side of Brock. Still not the tankiest or the most damaging A4.
Okay, he has picked up Cleaver, but he is still 50 CS down compared to Evie.
Might be able to make that up now that he's got Cleaver, so now he can like actually fight Evie. But then again, laning phase is pretty much over, to be honest. Now all these teams are just like trying to control vision. Like that's what they've been doing for like the past 3 minutes now. They've been trying to contest for vision. Waiting for somebody to be here. Tussle's gonna go and get CC down a little bit, but he doesn't really have any other way to keep him still. See Ryzen or somewhere. They know that Zac is around here somewhere. They can spot him out
Turning
now.
up the slingshot. Here we go. Going through the dive.
Shockwave somewhere. Going to wait for Yatori to go and go down. Change of Corruption is going to go lock people up for only a little bit, but now, whoop, that's it. He's dead. Whoa! That was a fat play in there by Evie and Zac. And now that's just going to be 7th Heaven going to be in disarray. That was actually like such a well-executed play by Evie to go in, body slam 3 people to CC them, and then immediately throw them with his explosive cast.
And we saw the strength of RPG's disengage there, where they try to force the dive, but they're able to just peel away from the fight and just kill Raisin, who's just suddenly all on his own.
7th Heaven's composition works so much more effectively. Okay, so we got to see it over here. Savage goes deep. He goes in onto Yatori and onto Dare.
Brock walks forward.
Brock walks forward. Now he's tanking tower aggro. He flashes out. He's not able to get a good shockwave. He could have gotten a good shockwave on 2 people. Evie comes up onto 3 people and is able to blast them in all 3 different directions, and now Savage is just gone.
Yep, and even though they have Zac and Orianna and Jarvan, this comp is still one that's very hard to dive.
Especially when they mismanaged the tower aggro. It's just like Savage was the one who went in, but Brock was the one who actually got tower aggro. That's not what you want. Also, that flank by Evie was just godlike.
I'll see how much power play they can make with this Baron.
Better be better god a lot. Unless it just dies. Looks like they're gonna go rotate towards mid lane since they've got Evie already escorting the minion wave here. That's 1 tower, 2 tower. There is an Infernal Dragon up though on the map. Not sure if RPG are gonna want to go for that. Well, they probably are, to be honest. Like they're probably gonna try and use as much as they can from the Baron buff, and then they'll go and peel up towards the dragon. How much damage they're gonna be able to get onto this tower? Not exactly sure if RPG are going to want to like try and be proactive with diving. They probably just are going to be content with pressuring the towers slowly and then having 7th Heaven engage on them again.
Yeah, diving isn't really an option. They're lacking in key engage to try and force something under the tower, but they can pressure it out and just melt it down. Zaya's very good at taking towers.
Zara gets caught in. Zach is going to get CC blocked. That's just going to be Thitten falling.
Yep, and able to capitalize very hard on poor positioning with their Syndra stun.
Now that they've only got about 1/4 of the Baron buff lasting, they're probably just going to go and call over onto this dragon, saying it's like, alright, it took us 3/4 of a Baron buff duration in order to actually break their base, so we don't have enough time to break another inhib tower. Also, they probably just got a lot of gold, so they want to go and get that up too. Gonna see the rocket coming out of Lee Sin, the support Lee, the support AD Lee. I always think to myself, just like, I wonder why we don't have any AD supports. Like they're all like AP casters or some shit like that. But then I realized, like, oh wait, Poppy was meta for a while. Poppy support was meta for a while. Trundle support was meta for a while.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's like standard to have AD on Braum.
Yeah.
Because like he only
popped over the wall. He's going to be CC'd down a little bit. Up. Shockwave's going to go and keep him down for a little bit, but somebody dies on the top side. Thitten. Wait, why did Ryzen TP in if he's just going to go and EQ flash out? Wait, this means that RPG is going to be able to get more with their Baron buff before it runs out. They've got like very little time on it though. Savage is going to try and look for another flank here, but Ward's going to spot him out. They've got the inside track here, zoning out the squishies, but now that's just going to be Rakinia. Very low on HP, trying to kite away.
Finish him off. There we go.
Oh god. Savage can't run away fast enough, doesn't do any damage on his own, needs his team here, but his team's nowhere to be found. And now they're just going to go and beat down 7th Heaven inside their own base. They've still got super minions here. Nice Sonic Wave into the flash out. And they're just going to be able to get the inhibitor tower here.
I'm going very far.
That one fight in top lane is where it all started. Lost one Nexus tower as well. And now, like, there's not going to be like a lot of tools for 7th Heaven to be able to come back in this game. They're going to have to go and find a really good engage at the right opportunity on the right amount of targets. Because if you attempt to engage on all of RPG, they all collectively have so much peel and pushback that they can just keep you away. So you need to be able to find out just a couple of people, 1 or 2, you don't want to grab the entire thing, you want to skirmish around here. So now it's just going to be RPG going to go walk in towards the mid lane. They don't have any neutral projectors for them to control right now. Their jungle, 7th Heaven's jungle is pretty much eaten out. Now they have got to go and deal with a static shift. Wait, who's got static shift? Oh, Zaya's got static shift. Alright, so
double zeal items for Zaya.
Max CDR. But still going to have to deal with the wave clear of Brock and Rakinia. The Ori Varus does have a respectable amount of wave clear. So much so that it makes it a little bit difficult to actually siege against them, but the problem is that they've already got so much of a lead with, what is this Unbreakable by Dara? Anyways, but normally this type of siege would be very difficult, but because they've already pushed a great advantage towards the top lane and the bottom lane and taken out their inhibitors, now that's going to require 7th Heaven to go and react to these side lanes, and that's just going to allow their mid tower to fall eventually.
Plus the fact that they are 11,000 gold ahead.
They're gonna have to go and like time each of these minion waves carefully.
Like, this actually is a very scary team to try and engage upon when they're ahead.
They've got like 4 stuns and knockups per champion, something crazy like that. Savage is gonna go and try and find a 1v1 over with the Lee Sin, but that's actually not really what you want to do in this situation. Brock is going to go and land out the shockwave, but it's going to miss as Remune flashes out. Savage wants to go back in onto Remune, but now in the bottom side, Rakini is just going to go and get gunned down by Gragas and Yatori. And that's just probably going to be it here. They have to go and find something to do, but if 5 people of 7th Heaven couldn't do anything, then what are 3 people going to do? Savage is going to go all in onto Tussle, trying to go and CC him down, but he's able to stay alive just barely enough with all the shields that he's got in his kit. And now they're going to be able to go and get the Nexus Tower and get their first win of the day.
Fortunately, Conservation of Ninjutsu does not apply in League, so...
I don't think Gragas is in though. That's pretty cool.
He's close enough. Got a dash. Rough living for 7th Heaven.
They had like a decent looking composition. They were able to execute on the comp well the first time around, but when the next
it was a scary draft.
Both sides were actually scary, and like I said that I liked 7th Heaven's composition. Oh, vote now, player of the match. So like I said that I liked 7th Heaven's composition more than I did like RPG, but then I did say that RPG are just going to play with comfort picks and just beat them down in each lane individually, and given like how each of the towers fell, like first the bottom tower fell, then the top tower fell at roughly the same time, then the mid tower fell immediately. It looks like that they were just able to rotate them so that they're never actually in that fight situation. Like they were able to avoid a lot of fights, and the only fights that they opted into, they were either A, completely taken by surprise when they were trying to defend themselves, or B, they were just mostly in control and avoided fights completely.
And stuff like forcing fights underneath towers against teams that do have really strong disengage and peel. Even for champs like Zac and Jarvan, it's rough going.
I wasn't really like impressed with what was the mid laner's name again? With
Brock?
Yeah, I wasn't really impressed with Brock's performance on Orianna. Like, yeah, some of these things can be avoided and is just like not your fault. Like it's like, oh, the Zac pulled people out of my ultimate with his ultimate. Like some of those like are mildly forgivable, but I didn't see like a decent ultimate. I only saw like a decent ultimate during that flank in the mid lane. There was only one time when there was a good command shockwave. We can skip this. I want to become king of the world. I want to cleanse the world of impurities. I could do that. Alright, so now here we are on game 2. We're gonna go and see standard bans all throughout. Probably gonna go for something. Maybe we might be seeing a couple different bans out from RPG. Alright, so they ban out the Gragas because they're not gonna be able to first pick it, I don't think. So what kind of comp would you like to see 7th Heaven change up?
I mean, their comp was really good.
Alright.
Like, they're like Oriana, Zac, Jarvan, like that's a comp that should win team fights instantly. The execution was poor though.
So maybe they have to go and pick a comp that just like helps them with their poor execution.
I like maybe ban out some of the heavy disengaged champs.
Well, RPG already started that off for them, banning out their own Gragas. Normal bans coming out over here. Now let's go and see what RPG is going to go and start off with. They start out with a Galio, which is pretty good. Still a good peel or engage tool if used correctly. Also not going to be seeing the Lee Sin banned out here, even though that was a mild factor. Was able to pressure out flashes over the bottom lane and the mid lane. Since Elise is banned out,
Savage that can pick up the Lee Sin this time.
Yep.
RPG picking up the Galio. Also, similar to Gragas.
Hey, we get to see another Oriana.
Tanky, good peel. Maybe see him have more map pressure though.
I feel like I kind of want to say that like Gragas is better in extended fights than Galio is. Problem is that Galio can just be such a big beefy boy that he just doesn't take damage, especially with his spammable damage reduction and taunt. That's like nearly ultimate worthy, and it was his ultimate for a while actually. Alright, so now we get to see Yatori Moyasi picking up the Varus here. Go with the Braum.
Dara has the Braum again.
So then, like, what kind of comp does it look like RPG is going to be starting out with here? Because it looks like we're just going to be starting off with another variation of the peel and back off, or of the peel and kite comp, because Galio is going to be able to go and start off the peel. So like any heavy engage that 7th Heaven has is going to be able to be negated by Evi on the Galio. And the Braum ulti along with the Chains of Corruption are going to be able to also like kite harder. But now it looks like 7th Heaven are just going to have a much less committal composition than they did last game. So they're going to want to try and like play with a bit more finesse and timing, which seems kind of funny, especially since the first time around arguably required less of that, or rather it was much more simpler to run with it. Ow. And there's going to be banned out, probably just don't want to go and deal with that. Even though they have the Lee Sin this time, and all of the other like important junglers are out. Like, what other junglers are to pick now? There's Zac's gone, oops. Zac's gone, Gragas is gone, Elise is gone, Lee Sin is gone. Jarvan, arguably? Don't really see a lot of Jarvan jungle though.
Very rarely see Jarvan in the jungle in pro play.
Syndra and Shen are going to be banned out. Pretty interesting for Shen to be banned out. Maybe that speaks to RPG's mind where they actually want to go and delete whatever target that they set their sights on if they do get a pick. Because they don't have all that much damage, they just want their target to not have... Ooh. Wow, we get to see a brand come out
Brand
here.
pickup.
That's interesting.
And Zyra's
Zyra's
already locked in, so that's a brand mid.
We've got Oriana, Zyra, and Brand. Where the fuck are we putting the Brand? Wait, is this gonna be the AD Brand? Is this gonna be the APC Brand? This is gonna be interesting. Gonna go see. Okay, so it's like a support pick kite comp from RPG. They're going to use Tussle as their battering ram and try and manipulate fights with their CC. But then again, 7th Heaven have scary stuff. Head coming out from the top lane. Okay, so that's going to be a mid lane Galio, which is arguably better because now you've got more range on your, you got more effective range on his Grand Entrance. Let's go and see the final pick. You're not picking Heimerdinger. You're not picking Heimerdinger. You're trolling. Heimer support.
They need to get an ADC. Like there's.
Oh! What the fuck? They're trolling. They're trolling. Heimer top. Orianna mid. It looks like 7th Heaven is just so confused right now. Like they're not even swapping yet.
They're remaking. They can't, like, this can't be serious.
I don't. What was going on there? I wish we could like understand. I wish I spoke a little bit of weeaboo to understand what's going on here.
Nah, they're clearly remaking. 7 Heaven pause. Let's skip forward to the real draft.
And then it's just loading into the game with the same picks. God, how long does this pause? Holy shit, dude! This is... Alright. Alright, so same picks again so far. The exact same. If they pick Brandon, other guy though, that's trolling. Same Zac ban. Then we're gonna see like Zaya, N, right? Zaya Shen.
さあ、シンドラバンですね。そしてラストバン。ここでシェンを変える。
Show us the picks. Show us the pick. Heimerdinger top. Brand APC. Alright, so now here are the bans. Picks so far gonna be mostly the same. Now we get to go and see what is the real AD carry. Ashe makes a lot more sense, I suppose. I haven't seen Azrael in a while actually. He's sort of fallen out of the favor in the meta. He's going to give a lot of safety to Kenya. But I don't think she's going to be... I don't think Ezreal's going to be that effective. Like, there's only two ways that Ezreal can play out. One is he's able to deal damage safely from a range because he can't ever get hopped on. Two, he just doesn't deal any damage to anybody. Alright, so this is a more realistic pick. Alright, this is a lot more doable. RPG still is running the same composition, but we've got no fucking idea why 7th Heaven has Brand Heimerdinger. And then just remade. Bad face, boys. Like, we looked at 7th Heaven and they're just like, what? They're just like all looking over each other's shoulder like, what the fuck is happening? What? I didn't lock this in. Something overcame me. I was possessed.
I found my dong erased.
とか、あとはミッドレーンにガンクするというような動きが特徴的です。クレットはアルティメットでミッドレーンに対してガンクというところが非常に強力でもありますから、そういった動きが中心となってトップサイドからランページは動かしていくのではという予測ができますね。
なるほど。一方のセブンセブンはどうでしょ
う。セブンセブンとしては、まあやはりここクレットに対してレネクトも当てましたから。
Alright, so now what do you think of both of these compositions from these teams actually?
Zoom again.
Well, we're gonna start off with Evie playing Kled in the top lane for Rampage. Tussle playing Ivern in the jungle, Immune playing Galio in the mid lane, Yutori Moyasi playing Varus as the AD carry, and Dara playing Braum in support position. Well, on 7th Heaven we get to see Satori playing Renekton in the top lane, Savage's Lee Sin in the jungle, Rock's Orianna in the mid lane, Rakinia's Ezreal in the AD carry position, and Fitten playing Zyra as the support.
So while their team fight isn't as strong this time around on the side of 7th Heaven, their individual champs that they've changed up should ideally perform better.
Should give them more control during the laning phase, right? We won't be seeing like top tower and bottom tower falling at the same time.
Like all the champs that they've changed will perform stronger, I feel.
Gonna go and see an aggressive push in from RPG to go and spot out what they're going to be doing onto the Raptor camps. Gonna find Savage there. Ivor's just gonna go and walk wherever he pleases.
Meanwhile, RPG's feels a bit more clunky. They have strong support and peel. And with Evie and Ramoon, they have strong engage.
Yeah.
But when it comes to dealing damage, they're going to be very reliant on Yutori.
They're gonna have to be depending on Yutori or Evie to be dealing big dick damage, but when you're playing in a lane against Renekton, you're not gonna really have that gold income to be dealing that big dick damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to see Tussle sitting bot lane, doing everything he can to make sure Yutori does well.
Also, a little reminder, we're not really going to be seeing an AD carry on 7th Heaven side until about 20 or so minutes. And again, that may be what they're hoping for here, for just a little bit of extra safety. Especially against a pick composition, or a pick dual lane, like Yutori and Dara, playing the champs that they are. Everything's going to be a bit of a strap for mana on the side of Galio, at least until he can get his Doran's rings. That 7-11? When are the Doran's ring nerfs? Again?
I believe it was 7-11.
Okay. Right, we can see about 120 damage come out here on Satori. It's see Keystones and Masteries here, pretty standard stuff mostly. I'll trade in the bottom lane. Just gonna see Tussle here with the support Keystone. Lots of damage onto Brock here, so we're gonna be able to get like lots of damage here. And it's gonna be pushing out slowly.
特に Q の精度を高めればこういったところで確実に当てていけば涙を買う前はあれが非常に強い。
Bottom lane is going to be a fight for control here. Usually the lane that has the Zyra is going to be able to be a bit more aggressive, even if you have a farming AD carry like Ezreal. Us is going to go and roaming around inside the Scuttle Crab River here. Maybe go and put boards here. Gonna go walk down towards the bottom side. Maybe go and land a root collar onto somebody since they are.
This is where he needs to be.
Gonna be waiting patiently for maybe a good engage. Rakini goes and commits a little bit further, but instead of going in when he goes to step forward, he actually just holds.
The wave's gonna be pushing.
This is okay. Feels like he's wasting a lot of time here.
Walks up for the root. He forces the flash.
misses everything. They're able to get a flash here, and they still have wave control. Maybe it's arguably worth it for them, but that's still a lot of time.
Yeah, Ezreal is incredibly safe. They're gonna have a hard time nailing him down.
Which is probably what they wanted, the Ezreal pick.
Probably going to be better off focusing on Zyra and trying to get fed off her.
That's just your luck though. As an 80 carry, you pick a safe support. You pick a safe 80 carry. You're staying safe in lane. You're farming CS with your Q. You're not overextending. You're being patient, and then your support's the one that feeds. And now you're both being flamed. It's like, oh, bot lane fed. I was like, no, it wasn't me. It was my retarded little brother. Gonna see Brock here though, being bullied out of lane by this big stone man. Literally chiseled. Trying to find the taunts, able to get it, but not actually in range to land his auto attack. Oh wait, he goes in onto Savage accidentally. Alright. Just a reminder that Brock doesn't have TP, so now he's just going to be naturally bullied out of lane by the person with TP. Gonna go and shove this lane to the tower so that he'll get more favorable back timers. And now that's gonna be an advantage for Ramin right now. Get to see Dark Seal and Corruption Potion on the side of Galio, which is really good here for staying in lane. Gonna see Evie here actually bullying out Renekton. So I mentioned earlier when you don't really have a free lane when you're playing against a Renekton, like you always sort of have to be on your toes. But it looks like Evie here is just like controlling the lane, like he's got lane pressure to where like now Satori's just going to be bullied and bitched on tower. We might
Evie is performing well. I think across both of these games, it's just showcasing Evie being the stronger top laner.
Yeah, so we might actually be able to see Yatori and Evie carry these teamfights in terms of damage. Then again, they could also just be winning by attrition because 7th Heaven we're going to have to like depend on things like heals and shields to kite things out. But when you've got an Ivern on your team, you arguably have more shields. And the Galio, you've got more damage reduction and directing people, other people's damage onto you, and from that's also more damage being blocked, so not exactly directly shields and heals that will keep him alive, but it's close.
But if RPG are, like, if they do wind up relying on Evie to be doing some damage, that's a very dangerous game they're playing.
Yeah.
Because the longer that goes on, like, Evie is not going to be able to significantly compete with late game Ezreal and Orianna with how much they'll be able to put out.
Come out here by Tussle to keep himself safe, but we're going to see a ward hop coming out over here. Dara and Yatori are going to be able to support him and escort him down, but now we're going to see Dara coming out with the Unbreakable.
Bikini is forward.
Gonna keep them alive for now. I feel like if 7th Heaven recognize that they're going to be depending fully on Yatori and Evie for their damage, that they might have picked a more abusive 80 carry. Then again, things were already taken out of their hands for abusive 80 carries. Caitlyn's already gone. Varus was picked up by them. There's not really a lot of other abusive 80 carry matchups that are doable. Like, you could do Ashe Zyra, which okay-ish?
And Kled was their last pick.
Yeah, Kled's gonna go being fought out over here. Galio's gonna come in with a grand entrance, but he's gonna be Shockwave back.
Shockwave stops the engage.
Kled goes back in, is able to go and dash through Satori and stay onto Brock, and now he's gonna go get cut down. The Ninja Tabby Evie soloing people, and now we get to see the Zyra punished for her immobility by the Varus. And that's what it is. Dude, the fucking Kled and Varus are both carrying. They're the damage dealers. It's actually happening. Now they're going to be able to probably pick up the first tower and Dragon here. So that means that they're going to be able to have their team fighting just be that much stronger. Maybe? Or they're just going to go and back out.
Yeah, Savage starting that fight, but not respecting the collapse that RPG have. The story's looking to get caught out here.
gonna be able to back up safely. And when you're a fed top laner, everybody who's not a tank is your bitch. Alright, so now we get to see what happened in the bottom lane. Chains come out. Or not chains.
Stinton still didn't have flash up from the last time he used it, so
That's unfortunate. But when you're a fed top laner, and you've got this sort of pressure lead in lane when you're not supposed to, and then you've also got an additional kill, like, everybody else who isn't a tank is your bitch. And right now, he's even making Satori his bitch right now. So, Kled does have the tools to get onto Ezreal, or he has the damage to go and kill out Brock, Rakinia, and Thinton. Might be able to see the hyper carry Kled. Dart's gonna go get some vision here. So then, like, what is their first 7th Heaven to do? Where are they going to go and try and make their next move? They can try to do something in the mid lane, but then again, it's against a fairly tanky Remute, a fairly tanky Galio, and if they do go up onto him and they don't layer their CC properly, then he's just going to be able to grant entrance away. Going top lane might be your safest bet here to try and garner a lead. Because bot lane is just going to keep getting their shit pushed in. Like, it doesn't matter how much you help the Ezreal lane, you're going to have to... Like, they're still going to be at a slight disadvantage because of the nature of the matchup until Ezreal starts hitting those power spikes, and he doesn't even have, like, any, like, completed items. He's going to be, what, starting into a Blade of the Ruin King? That doesn't seem like a recipe for dealing damage. We're going to see Evie chasing in onto Satori here. He's going to be slapped around.
Well, keep in mind, I'm pretty sure this is the patch, before Blade got nerfed on range champs.
Oh yeah, it did got nerfed on range champs. It was, what was the nerf again on range champs? It was like...
It's like half as effective on range champs or something like that. But
I'm wondering why they didn't do that soon. Oh, he actually forces the ultimate out of Satori, the Dominus.
right now, 7th Heaven have to be thinking that the early game has been run away from them. They have to play for scaling right now, it feels, and try
to be playing for scaling.
and try to capitalize on whatever misplays RPG might make.
Feels pretty strange to be playing for scaling when you're on 7th Heaven side. Like, you've got a Lee Sin and you've got a Renekton. It's like, all right guys, we're gonna like play for the early game. Like, even if the rest of their comp, like, ignoring the rest of
but they
their
have Orianna and Ezreal.
Yeah, like, even still then, like, it's like, all right, Orianna lost her lane, that's normal. All right, the Ezreal lost his lane, that's normal. But then you like see, it's like, oh, Lee Sin has just been invisible this entire game, and also our Renekton is eating shit. Like, this isn't exactly where 7th Heaven want to go. Then again, like, with enough time, they're going to be relevant again to fulfill their mid to late game goals of just being beef tanks, or mild beef tanks, or just CC utility.
Yeah, right now, Satori and Savage both need to get fat and be CC bots.
They do have to, like, have enough damage in their kits, though, to actually be scary.
No, they don't. They need to survive. And if they can survive without RPG forcing enough things, then they'll be alright.
Gonna be seeing bot lane pressured out here, but the plants are gonna go in alive for a little bit longer.
Yep, Zyra is effective at stalling out pushes.
Pretty curious though that we haven't seen the Lee Sin try to solo take the dragon that we see a lot of Japanese Lee Sins do. Then again, most of the Japanese Lee Sins that go out for these dragon steals are on the side, not the red side.
And it is dangerous because
the bottom lane is just eating. It just hey, it looks like the ball is Lee Sin's head for a little bit while they were walking.
And against double teleport, double semi-global ults. like it's rough.
Another thing too is this, like, if Evie is going to be allowed to go and bully Satori out of lane, then that's just going to mean that Satori's going to have to babysit lane, and without the use of teleport, he can just go down and roam. And then, like, after the fight, he could go back to splitting and then TP back in. But now it looks like RPG is going to be able to go and get the dragon.
Yep, RPG's one with all the pressure. They get to force down the objective, and Seventh Heavens doesn't really have an answer. Brock just has to run away from the Galio.
Oh, I just noticed they don't show the game number here at the top. Like, oh no, this isn't game 2. This is first game because nobody's won a game yet. Got the right.
This is...
ティントはかなり警戒しながら視界の確保に動いています。
Match 1, game 1.
ここからランページとしては、まあリデンプション
We'll
も
finish this game
完
and
成しましたし、
I guess
集団戦、少数戦を狙って
I
い
have
く
to.
の
I'll
が
go and edit
一
things
番
together.
展開としてはスムーズかなという印象がありますね。
So now we're gonna go see RPG trying to make a sneaky play down here, but what they don't know is that he was spotted out by a lane ward. Pretty sad. Now that means that RPG is gonna be safe, right? Maybe he's gonna go walk in towards the bottom lane. He's gonna use his charge.
All comes out.
But he's gonna
Flash
get
burn.
immediately.
Cancel that TP, thank you.
They still know that Lee Sin is down here. Oh, Chains of Corruption
Chains
are
of
going to be going out
Corruption.
here. Triangle Thorns are going to be coming out, only knocking up Dara. Gonna see the TP come out by Immune. Oh, but it gets cancelled. Alright. Like they don't even commit here. They don't like Savage doesn't even know yet. Like that was like their best hope. They were hoping for like a fight, but they're not actually gonna go and find anything.
They're pinging the bush.
They know that they're in there. They're just gonna like try and bait them out. Wait, you guys knew that he was in there. Alright, we're gonna go see Ramune gonna go ult in, not actually gonna be able to knock anybody up. Taunt, gonna look for the flash, not able to catch anybody on the end of that. Whew, gonna eat some fat damage here. But now that just means that 7th Heaven, despite setting things up first, they're the ones that have to retreat. That 4-man party down here in the bottom lane. Now they're just going to be able to go and boot down this tower. Ted was hovering around mid lane, but he's just going to go walk back up top. Got Daisy to tank a few extra shots, but that's not really going to matter that much. Die. Bye, Daisy. They're not going to be able to get the tower here on the first rotation. They're going to have to wait for another minion wave, but look at the damage that Satori was able to do on the top tower while Evie was dangling around in mid lane waiting for something to happen. There's a world where Evan could get the first tower. But Evie does have TP, and Satori doesn't. Gonna go see an all-in here by Evie, gonna get stunned up, but nothing really of consequence here. They both just go back into their normal trading positions. CS position better. I don't want to see how much HP this top tower has, actually. This is going to be handed over onto Brock. Going to give him a little bit more control over lane, even though it's not really going to do that much against an Abyssal Mask Galio. Roll seems to be mostly in RPG's favor here, but it seems like that little failed push in the bottom lane sort of stunted their pressure. But it's just gonna have, we're just gonna have a long laning phase today. Dear Lord.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 7th Heaven do not want this laning phase to end.
No, you're right. They
because
want the Orianna to be fed.
It ends, that's when the map opens up. Then that's when things start to fall apart for them.
Yeah,
so they want to stall this out for as long as possible. They want to get as much gold onto their carries as they can before RPG start forcing things.
Well, then it looks like RPG is just playing into Seventh Heaven's hands like perfectly right now. Even though things are like a little bit messy, they're only 2,000 gold down or so. Go see Savage here, the two early game beef boys.
そしてサベージも動いてますが決まります。ランページの視界の能力というのが上回っている。
But now it looks like they're just going to swap their laners here. Just going to go and try and brute force the top tower. But they just concede it completely. Go and look for a play here, but Flash Out's going to go and keep him alive. Teleport's going to be cancelled, and they're going to be able to get the second tower.
So they were able to trade towers, which is good for Seventh Heaven that they're able to do that.
The TP come out here by Evie, I believe. Or Satori. Whoops, my bad. Switch the teams in ahead.
Seven, just be careful here, because Ramoon can actually just kill him under tower.
Haha. The three, I was like, so when triple Doran's Ring gets nerfed, you know what you go instead? Corruption Potion, Doran's Ring, and Dark Seal, baby. All the starting items. Fuck yeah. How long do you want to be farming for, fam? 20 minutes. Alright, just let me load you up with all of the starting items. Let me start you off with the coal, too.
Call in Doran's Shield to top it off.
But now 7th Heaven, now that they've lost the bottom tower, they're going to be able to have a shorter route to defend their towers. They can commit their 80 carry to protecting mid lane, and then they'll be able to have a shorter walking path to their tower that they have to defend in the bottom lane. Still though, there is an Infernal Dragon that is on the map that RPG want to go take, meaning that
Daisy.
the damage from Evie and Yatori is going to be easier to come by. This feels like 7th Heaven rolled an unlucky number here with getting 2 Infernal Dragons. I was like, oh man, I really wanted to just farm this out and get like an Ocean Dragon or like 3 Air Dragons or something. I wasn't counting on 2 Fire Dragons to come out and actually one-shot me.
RNG definitely not helping 7th Heaven.
No, they're on opposite.
Oh, that's...
Why are you talking about Chinese teams? We're in Japan. Alright, Sitton's gonna go engaged in on here.
Collapse with the Galio knock-up taunt.
And nobody dies.
So basically what happened, that's trading a Galio ult for Finton's flash.
Able to deny the wave clear with the Braum Unbreakable. Rakania gets to be safe and gets to kite away.
The pushing power of Braum, Vague.
Satori's gonna go in! The pushing... Yes, the pushing power of not having his minion wave be deleted. They've been able to make something happen there with a shockwave, but decide against it, really. See Brock go in farming top lane, get to go see Evie farming bottom lane. Everybody's just returning back to their farming positions. And still, the gold lead is, well, it grew to 3,000 now instead of just 2,000. So maybe we'll see a game-changing fight happen at around 30 minutes, and maybe we'll see the game end at 40 minutes. Who the fuck knows? Huh? I don't know. Top laners have... Actually, this is a really low kill count game as well. So, 7th Heaven doing a good job of not getting, or of not losing their shit. Gonna go get engaged on, but has a double dash to make it out safe. RPG's gonna go and try and contest 7th Heaven's buff here. We've got sufficient wards here. Evie's gonna be engaged on him again, but the damage is gonna go get traded out as that 4th shot deals a lot of damage over to Satori. Oh, Evie's trying to kite this out. Wants to go and get remounted onto Skarl. So close to getting it. Now he's got it. Oh, wait. How did Satori die?
Taunt from Galio.
Oh, okay. And now here's RPG just extending their gold lead without actually fighting everything, like having a full-on team fight, because 7th Heaven are just being so patient.
Evie's going back in.
Wow, that was a good engage here by Ramune onto Kenya.
Yep, and RPG just pushing their advantage as far as it'll go.
This is the sort of stuff that we wanted to see RPG doing here with the composition they've got. Like, now they've got the damage to actually do it. They're making these picks. And 7th Heaven don't really have the team comp to actually contest these fights. So they don't even really have the damage. They don't have the damage from the mid lane or the AD carry really to be able to go and like take these fights up.
Yeah, your Orianna's sitting on an item and a half. Your Ezreal has Blade of the Ruined King, Sheen, and Tyr.
And RPG just have 3 supports to just keep everybody alive. Just like, no, we're not gonna die. We're not gonna die. Who do you want to kill? You want to kill Yatori and Evie? No, we're just not gonna let you by. Until we start seeing like a void staff coming out of the Orianna, we're not really gonna be big dick damage.
6000ゴールド近くグローバルゴールドで離れていますから、単純に集団戦を行うというのも非常に難しいとなると、集団戦は避けなければならないということで、おのずと選択肢は限られてきますよね。
Deny the back from Savage here.
ただそのポークできるチャンピオン、確かにエズリアルがいるので、ロケニアがいかにポークを当てる
Now
か
after they've taken the bottom inhibitors, they're going to go siege up the bottom or the mid lane and the top lane. Fairly low on HP. Top tower is can't actually tell. Looks like it's over half HP in the top tower. Problem is now
I'm sure we'll see soon.
Having Satori babysit the Mega Minion wave just means that Evie is going to be free to go and gauge these side lane fights. We might be seeing one. Want to hear that horn, baby? Like he's just going to walk in to zone him away. Just going to go and take this for free. Like, RPG doesn't even need to fight. Nobody's fighting yet. Like, the only fights that happen are the fights that absolutely need to happen. When they're like not backing off of towers, and like even then they just pressure them out so that they can say like, oh thanks tower mate, bye. Now they're gonna go and split 2 here. Pretty curious to have Savage towards the top side, trying to defend as much as they can. Kenya doesn't really have any wave clear. Really the only wave clear that 7th Heaven have is Brock on Orianna. Like, otherwise it's just not going to be happening.
Yep, Zyra can help, but it's not really going to make a huge difference.
Especially when you've got a static shiv coming out of Yatori, he's going to be able to delete minion waves with just an auto Q or something like that. Looking for an engage here, Evie's going to go balls deep in, and Ramune's going to go and follow him in. He just insta-kills Fitten solo, and now Evie's going to be in the backline with the redemption here to heal him up. He's going to try and look for an exit here. He's going to go and look for the pocket pistol to get out. Not going to be able to do it. Tussle flashes in to try and save him, but they're not able to do that. Orianna shockwave misses completely, and now Satori is just dead now. Savage may be next as he gets hits up by the Wind of War, and now Tussle's going to go walk in. Oh, I'm a weak little twig boy. Fear me! And now that's just going to be RPG sitting in their base. Like, what are you going to do, Brock? Open your eyes! You ain't in Johto anymore, bitch! Kanto, whatever. Gonna be able to get the mid tower here, but now it looks like Ramune just overstayed his welcome and just gets picked up.
It's one rock type you can't master.
Oh, wait! But they did master it. They mastered, they killed Ramune.
Well, it was funnier before he died.
Yeah, I guess. Get to see though an water dragon rather be forced down. That's actually be fairly good for Tussle and Yatori, considering the nature of their champions. They were able to get a Nexus tower, so these tanky boys are going to be able to just need a strong breeze take down the remaining tower. See. Ooh, looks like 7th Heaven are going to go and try and set up vision around Baron buff, but I think it's going to be fairly free for RPG if they ever decide to, and they haven't really needed Baron buff to actually end the game. I feel like opting into a Baron fight is just going to be gambling a 50-50. So we're going to go see
Force another
engage
fight
somewhere onto Brock. Oh wow, look at that damage. Hi, I've got 2 Infernal Dragons. I'm Evie. I'm carrying the game. Gonna see, oh, Savage getting knocked up, knocked around, and he's gonna be stuck inside the enemy team, and he's just gonna fall immediately. Evie's gonna go get remounted onto Skarl, and now they're gonna be able to just force down the mid inhibitor. They've got bottom minions coming up here. It's locked onto the tower. Trying to lock in onto Thinton here. Taunt comes in. Damage is going to be going out, but I don't think Thinton's actually going to be able to die. So Tori's going to be able to double dash away. Rakinia uses his True Shot Barrage to try and clear out some minions, land a little bit of damage, but it's not really going to come anything from it, as they just go and take the inhibitor again.
Brock's walking up mid lane. Why not just engage on him? He has no cooldowns.
Tori, you're just dead now. Hey, Rakinia. Rakinia, you're still scaling, boy. You need to go back and farm. What are you doing? Looks like they're just going to go and kill Ezreal while he's sitting under his tower, but that doesn't actually work out the way that they wanted. So Tori just dies, but it doesn't matter because RPG are able to go and get their win. Well then, that was something. I feel like it took way too long for the Ezreal to show up, and like by the time that the Ezreal showed up, it's just like, oh, we sacrificed a tower to go get another tower, and now we get to like extend the laning phase some more. Except now RPG's just able to go out and pressure all these other waves because 7th Heaven just don't want to commit into any of these fights, and these fights are just so incredibly quick that Evie just deletes anybody that he goes and sits onto. And like that thing that I said earlier about, I was like, oh guys, my support's feeding, but I'm doing fine. That actually happened like for most of the game though. It looked like Thinton just like gets insta-killed by Evie, and now they just lose control because they don't have any more CC on the rest of their team. They've got Renekton behind, Orianna scaling still, Lee Sin useless, Ezreal useless. Like nothing's happening. They don't have any tools to like stay in the game. I think that was also like a really good draft by RPG. Well, no, not just draft, but also execution, that they were able to go and one, stomp out the Lee Sin so that he can't ever show up in a lane. So all of the lanes have their own solo lane pressure. But two, also Evie has spectacular pressure in the top lane. So now the early game aggression from Renekton is actually just going to be useless. So now Evie's just going to be a much better diver than not. Did we watch the games backwards?
It's possible.
That's fine. Well, they won 2 games, so that's the end of the stream. Thank you, everybody, for visiting. Thank you, nobody, for visiting. Bye. I was your host, Alex VagueMan, and then this is also host CountDarth. Bye.